Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle a huge and honestly, a pretty terrifying question. What if America actually used a nuclear weapon on Iran? What would happen, step by step? This isn't just some movie plot. It's a very real scenario rooted in today's geopolitics and, well, humanity's most dangerous creation.
Just try to picture it. One sudden flash of light, brighter than anything you've ever seen. That's how it starts. A single, terrifying moment that changes everything. And look, this isn't science fiction we're talking about. This is the cold, hard reality of what these weapons are literally designed to do.
That's the kind of power we're dealing with here. The power to just wipe an entire city, a whole center of human life, right off the map, in a heartbeat. So let's really dig in. What would actually happen in the seconds, the minutes, and the days that followed?
All right, first up, the initial blast. Let's talk about the immediate, overwhelming destruction right at ground zero.
Right at the center of the explosion, the temperature would skyrocket to millions of degrees. I mean, think about that. That's hotter than the surface of the sun. It's a kind of energy that just doesn't belong on our planet.
So anything caught in that initial fireball. We're talking steel buildings, concrete roads, the very earth itself, and of course, people. It wouldn't just be destroyed. It would be vaporized, instantly turned into superheated gas. The city's core would just be gone.
And then that destruction just explodes outwards. A massive superheated shockwave would flatten everything for up to 15 kilometers. That's a huge area, folks. An entire major city just leveled in a matter of seconds.
You know, to really get a handle on this, think about a hurricane. We all know how destructive a hurricane can be, right? Well, the blast wind from a nuke is something else entirely. It moves faster than any hurricane and hits with a force that's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
But here's the thing. The horror doesn't stop with that initial blast. Not even close. That's just the beginning. What comes next is a much longer, quieter, and completely invisible threat.
We're talking about an unseen poison. See, the bomb doesn't just blow things up. It cooks everything it vaporized with intense radiation, creating this massive cloud of deadly radioactive dust. And that is fallout.
And this is how the weapon keeps on attacking, long after the flash and the boom. The wind just picks up this toxic cloud and carries it for hundreds, maybe even thousands of kilometers, poisoning the land, the water, and everything in the food chain. It's an attack that just doesn't stop, and its effects can linger for generations.
Okay, so after all that physical destruction, you've got the human response. And you can bet an attack like this wouldn't just happen in a bubble. It would set off an immediate and very, very forceful retaliation. It's the first domino to fall.
Iran would almost certainly strike back with everything they have. And they've got a pretty serious arsenal, you know? Thousands of ballistic missiles, advanced drones. They absolutely have the ability to hit US bases and allies all across the Middle East.
In the economic impact, it would be instant. A top target would almost have to be the major oil routes in the Persian Gulf. I mean, that's the world's energy lifeline right there. An attack on those routes would throw the entire global economy into chaos by cutting off the oil supply.
And this is where things get really scary. This is where a regional fight could drag the whole world into it. Because the response wouldn't just be from Iran. Oh no.
Suddenly, the big global players would have to choose a side. You've got countries like Russia and China. They have complicated ties with everyone involved, but they might just back Iran, politically or even militarily. And on the other side, you have the US and its NATO allies, who are bound by treaty to jump in. The world would split right down the middle.
That's the domino effect, right there. It all starts with one bomb, in one city, but it could easily spiral into a massive confrontation between nuclear-armed superpowers, a true, full-blown global crisis.
But wait, it gets worse. The consequences go way beyond just the battlefield. Even what some might call a limited nuclear war could affect every single one of us on this planet, no matter where you live. Scientists actually have a term for this, nuclear winter. And it's not some far-fetched idea, it's a real theory, based in climate science, that predicts a totally catastrophic shift in our environment.
Here's how it would work. The massive fires from all those burning cities would shoot tons and tons of smoke and soot way up into the atmosphere. That debris would then act like a shield, blocking out the sun. Global temperatures would drop like a rock, and that would cause agriculture, our food supply, to collapse everywhere. We're talking about a worldwide famine, all started by a war.
Now, to really understand why this is all so terrifying, you have to remember, this isn't just some abstract theory. We have to do a quick historical reality check.
Nuclear weapons have been used in war exactly twice, both times in 1945. And ever since that moment, the world has had to live with the knowledge that it could happen again. In fact, our entire system of global security for decades has been built around one single idea: making sure it never does.
So why haven't we seen another nuclear attack? Well, it's because of a really fragile balance. It's a mix of international treaties and this military idea called deterrence. Basically, it's the understanding that if you launch a nuke, you're going to get hit back with an overwhelming response. And so far, that's what has kept the peace. And that's really the bottom line here, isn't it? The destruction would be so total, so widespread, and would last for so long that the very idea of winning a nuclear war is just meaningless. There are no winners. In the end, everybody loses.
So, that leaves us with one final, pretty unsettling question. We've just walked through all the horrors, all the consequences, and we know about the systems of deterrence meant to stop it. So what do you think? Is a nuclear conflict something we've left behind in history, or is it a threat that's just waiting for its moment to return? It's a tough one, and honestly, there's no easy answer.